Hi, Caspar here on the 9th of March 2022. And question, where can you find white Burgundy at just 12.5% alcohol? Well, of course, the answer is in Burgundy's northern extreme. So we're up in Chablis here. You know, it's really exciting to find an estate you really haven't any experience of, but that just blows you away, the quality of its wines. And that happened to me, gosh, 3 years ago or so, when I visited Domaine Lavantureux in Lignerelles, which is a village right in the north of Chablis, and actually I drove there with a friend from Chambertin, and it took absolutely ages to get there, a really long way. And this estate, two young brothers just making absolutely benchmark, quintessential Chablis. Yeah, at most markets they're known as Domaine Roland Lavantureux. In England they're known as Lavantureux Frères. But be that as it may, what I've got here is my first look in bottle, because I tasted this out of barrel, of the 2018 Chablis Premier Cru Fourchaume. Fourchaume, interesting vineyard. It's as far as I remember, it's really quite a sort of sunny spot. And the wines tend to have more heft and more roundness and more richness and ripeness. So let's have a look at it. It's quite boldly coloured, actually. One of the fascinating things about Lavantureux was the sheer quantity of oak barrels that one sees in the cellar, which in Chablis I'm not so keen on. I don't think Chablis should really be an oaky wine, and yet in their wines, oak is very difficult to perceive. So let's have a look at this. Yeah, I mean it's boldly pale lemon yellow. It's really glinting in the glass. It looks absolutely healthy. And what does it smell like? Well, it smells like a wine that's very, very young. It's not really shouting about itself, but that Fourchaume density is clearly there. There's a sort of solid wall of aromas lurking inside the glass, talking of a sort of richness of orchard fruit, but along with it there are nuances of particularly a spice, and also a sort of almost a cedary, distinctly sort of conifer scent, sort of almost Leylandii foliage, but really good nose, good clean, expressive and quite complex. It's not, I mean Chablis, you know, should be a wine of great tension. They've had a number of vintages recently, including 18, that have been very, very warm. I mean, we're talking days of, you know, up to 40 degrees centigrade and beyond. This, whilst displaying that spice, has good definition to it as well. Mm. A super weight in the mouth of properly Chablis fruit, and shot through with spice. The acidity runs like a blade of slightly spicy, a sort of slightly spicy blade or spine right through the wine, and gathers towards the end this sort of paste-like minerality, which is a fascination, I must say. It's a wine of heft for Chablis. It's got density and solidity, and yet it's got this rapier cut, fabulous definition, amazing energy and freshness within the wine, and it's very, very long. And you know, I shouldn't have opened this. I wanted to do a tasting note, you know, to see what it was doing in bottle. Actually, we've still got a little bit of this vintage. A very little bit of this vintage of this wine. and some 2019. And goodness me, the Lavantureux young brothers are making some absolutely stunning wines, of which this is certainly one. I mean, it's got something of the rocks about it. It's a chalky, cedary thing. It's got chock full of character. If you like Chablis, and goodness me, you should like Chablis, this is a really special thing. But having said that, the one caveat I would say, give it another year, 2 years. I suspect this will last a decade, maybe 15 years, maybe more in bottle. It's got such energy and such concentration and power, actually, for Chablis, which is really the Fourchaume vineyard. So that's been 2018 Chablis Premier Cru Fourchaume from the Lavantureux brothers. A really electric glass of white wine, just fabulous.